Hey, Pumpkins. It has been forever since I've seen you, and I've missed you all. I am going to wait to see if anyone comes on because I announced, I guess, about 2.5 hours ago that I was going to go live, and when my mod said she was available, so awesome, here we are. And yeah, we'll see if anyone shows up. I've been watching Stranger Things. It's been fantastic. I just finished the second episode, and it's really getting good. So yeah, that's a thing. I have a ton of new ideas of things I wanted to get started. Do you remember a few months ago I had Dr. Brennan Myers on the show, and we were talking about loneliness and coping with loneliness and loneliness being the human condition. Hey, Emma. I was talking to him again today, and he's going to come back on the show. It may not be Friday nights because that doesn't tend to be a good time, but we're going to talk about transhumanism and how transhumanism tweet that was something like transhumanism is antithetical to neo-paganism, and I don't think it is. So yeah, he's going to come on and we're going to have that discussion. Hey, Sparta, how you doing? Hey, Antisocial. So I am now in a different city, staying with my friends Jess and Annie. And yeah, things are going relatively well here. Legal stuff is trucking along. But yeah, I just haven't had the bandwidth and the time to be able to fully deal with that. So yeah, but yeah, I've got a new lawyer. He is really, really excited to nail the psycho motherfucker as as he describes my old landlord to the wall. So yeah, yay that. So yes, we're going to do some Tarot Tuesday. Oh yeah, and I thought about today of talking to Andrea Vitamus if he wants to come back on, and we will do a seance and call I was thinking Betty White. I wanted to summon the spirit of Betty White in a seance, and we could crowdsource some questions, and people could decide what they wanted to hear from Betty and ask different questions. And that sounds. Police didn't do what I want them to, but yeah, I've got records of everything, so it's all going to be dealt with through the landlord tribunal and through civil court, which is great because that means that I'll get money out of this. One of my pumpkins works at a law office that is related to the tribunal, so she's going to help me with the forms, which I should have filed already. I believe. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Which I have a year to file, but it won't take that long. It's just because I've been in such transition because of the shit he pulled. There's another tenant as well that he treated worse than he treated me. The gentleman has some mental health issues, and the landlord really took advantage of that. Hey, Megan. So yeah, he's I'm going to be contacting him, and he is going to be, hopefully after we get that all sorted out, he's going to be suing as well. So there's actually going to be two former tenants suing this guy for breaking the law and harassment and all sorts of crap. Because yeah, if you're going to be a landlord, you should at least know what the law is so that you don't break it. All right, so oh, I don't have a tarot deck handy. 1 moment. Yeah, the Betty White thing is going to be a lot of fun. I'll have to see if Andrea's up for it. I know he's a busy guy. So the deck I'm using today is Legend, the Arthurian Tarot by Anne-Marie Ferguson. This is just a gorgeous deck. Yeah, I love this deck. It's so pretty. I wish I knew more about Arthurian lore and mythology, and that will be something that I eventually take on. I think that's going to be like a retirement thing, because after you turn 65, you can go to school full time. So I think I'll get like a master's in English lit studying Arthurian legend. That sounds like a lot of fun. Yeah, I wish I knew the lore more, because there's some cards here that would make a whole lot more sense to me if I was really. I know the general story of Arthur. It's a super pretty deck. All right, so I am doing readings today. They are by donation or free for members. So let me know if you would like a reading. Oh, there's another series of videos I was thinking of doing. So there's a show on Amazon Prime called Cosmic Love. It's a dating show done about astrology. So I was thinking of doing a reaction video to that. I still have to figure out how I can show clips of it and not get a copyright infringement, because if I'm going to be doing a reaction to it, then I should be able to show you what I'm reacting to. So we shall see how that goes. And I could do any number of celebrities who have passed away, but I thought Betty White would be a good one because of how she passed. You might remember I was quite critical of people covering Gabby Petito, and like people trying to contact Gabby Petito right after she died. And certainly there's a difference in contacting someone who is, just shy of 100 and dies of natural causes, and someone who is MURDERED at the age of 19 and they're totally healthy. Because like, as I had said in the video I made, like there's no way she'd crossed over after a week. And so if people are contacting, if mediums and psychics are contacting Gabby Petito a week after she was her life was taken, that's not Gabby. That's not Gabby. Yeah, but Betty White clearly was ready to cross over, and actually like missed her husband terribly. So yeah, Betty White is would be someone who I could contact. I would be hesitant about Robin Williams just because of how he died. But there might be a few other celebrities that we can look at, if not Betty White. But I think that Betty White would be the one that my clients or my subscribers would be most interested in seeing. So we might set that up, and that will be a ton of fun. So like we'll actually make a little altar to Betty and find a way for her to communicate with us, either through a talking board or through divination rods or something. We'll find a way for her to contact us. But yeah, that'll be awesome. What would you put on an altar to Betty White? Obviously her photo. And I know she liked wine, but we'll have to find out if she liked white or red. I think she liked red. Yes, I am. Yeah, my schedule is kind of all over the place, but yeah, we can totally work things out. Yeah, for sure. So it's carolyneironwill.com, and you can feel free to book. What else would you put on an altar to Betty White? Maybe a photo of her husband. She was from the Midwest, I think. I want to say that she was from like somewhere cold, like I know her character Rose was from St. Olaf. Oh, that's right. She was an animal activist. So yeah, if she had cheesecake, yes, Yes, I will totally give an offering to Cheesecake. Hey, Chubbington, how you doing? Yeah. Well, if I'm doing it with Andrea, which is my goal, he'd make sure to do proper cleansing before and after, and we'd talk about proper cleansing before and after when you're doing that kind of work, so that we're not leaving anything behind. And we'll walk you through cleansings. Okay, so we got cheesecake, wine, a photo of her animals. We'll find a photo. I'm sure she had pets if she was an animal lover. Maybe we'll find a photo of her house on some celebrity website. So that sounds cool. I think that's good. And really, I could do that myself. I don't need someone to do that, but that would be a way for him to plug his shop and his services as well. And I mean, she only needs one slice of cheesecake, so what are we going to do with the rest of the cheesecake? Don't know if there's issues with chat. I can check. I don't think I have it on slow. Pop into my studio. The back end is a pain in the butt. So, oh yeah, I'm also going to be doing another uncrossing. The last one I didn't end it properly, and so things were going well up until the end, and then I didn't dispose of it properly, and then yeah, everything just went to shit. So yeah, I will be doing a new uncrossing, and I will give updates about that as I go along. I may even do the ritual live, although like 30 days of me chanting for a half hour. I don't know if that's what you're interested in watching. Okay. I'm also going to be doing a video soon on Trump. What's happening with that? And I mean, I try to be as unbiased as possible, but everybody has their biases. And hot dogs, perfect. Donate it to a hungry tarot reader. Absolutely. Yeah, it feels like fall is on it. I mean, fall is on its way, but it feels like it's on its way sooner. Like it's quite cool at night now. And it's taking forever to load and get into the studio. Yeah, it's and I was had some questions, but they were answered. Like I didn't know, like, why does he have 3 passports? But and I was trying to come up with reasons why he might have 3 passports, which were humorous. Like, does his ego have his own passport? Did his toupee evolve into sentiency? But no, apparently one was valid, one was expired, and the other was like a diplomatic passport. So it's not as funny when you Google the truth. So I may have an apartment lined up in Toronto for October 1st. And hopefully by then I'll have my last month deposit back from Psycho Landlord. And yeah, because that's really the only reason that I'm not in a place right now is that he has my money and he won't give it to me. Yeah, I heard that, Emma. I actually Googled, like, why did Trump have 3 passports, and found out. And why is my studio isn't opening? Okay, so I can't get into it. Oh, here we go. Channel dashboard. I did a video talking about Chris Chan, but I haven't done a video about like a reading on him. So I might do a tarot reading on Chris Chan too, if there's enough interest. I am actually going to be, this is kind of a project I'm working on. I'm going to be making a Chris Chan tarot deck. It's pretty awesome. I didn't think there would be interest, and I just kind of like put on a Reddit subreddit of the major arcana. I'm like, can we come up with 22 cards for a major arcana? Like, let's play this thought experiment. And there were so many like Christian tarot-holics that I'm like, yeah, I could make this deck. So I have all of the majors and 10 of the minors worked out. So as soon as I get the those all as soon as I get those figured out, I just need to upload the photos. I mean, it's not going to be a high quality deck, but there are several companies that will do print on demand tarot decks, so I'll do a few of those. Do drop me a like if you would, please. That'd be super awesome. Okay. Oh, that's why. Okay, there we go. Get into that. All right, so that part of the chat should be fixed. And can I get into the back way here? No, I can't get into that. Okay. So I just hope it's working better now. All right, so looking at the oncoming winter. Now, obviously it's difficult to, hey, waxing moon. Yeah, I haven't been live in forever. Yeah. Actually, I think the the High Priestess card I want to do with him holding his sign. There's I don't know if you know everything that's happened in the past 10 years with him, but yeah, he was arrested for being inappropriate with his mother, who is 87 and has pretty severe dementia. So he spent the past year in prison awaiting trial, and they were on the verge of like throwing out the case. But no, now it's going to grand jury. So a jury is going to decide whether Chris Chan is being Oedipus. Yeah, that's how inappropriate he was. He was Oedipically inappropriate. Ezra Miller, I should know that name. It's familiar. Yeah, and we kind of should stay away. I know. Now I made the decision to stay away from all things to do with that YouTuber. She who will eat appropriate, love it. Yeah, I try to stay away from that YouTuber, so I don't know, maybe I'm sublimating that with Christian stuff. The lawyer is now using an autism deferral defense, and that was the video that I made, was kind of about how I do believe that Chris Chan does need to be held responsible for their actions. I am trying to use they, them, and she, her pronouns, but I forget sometimes because most of my exposure to Chris has been he, him. But yeah, I mess up. Yeah, so they're looking at using an autism deferral defense, and okay. Yeah, if and I would trust Aphrodite then. There are some times I'm doing a reading, and if something is too dark, I will end it. Especially if it's like something that's really going to be super triggering to my audience. I try to be sensitive to what my audience likes. Like, it's making YouTube videos is a fine balance between what your viewers want to watch and what you want to make. So it's important to me that I only do things that I want to make. But at the same point, I know that there are some things that my viewers are more interested in watching. So I kind of tailor it that way. I mean, people talk about, doing things for clicks and views, which, why would you make something on social media that you didn't want someone to watch? But at the same point, I think that there needs to be a level of integrity. Somebody said that I just wanted my subscribers to support me, which was really funny because this was commented on the channel of a woman who literally has a husband who supports her so that she can be on YouTube every day. And I just want to be supported by my subscribers. I mean, I love my subscribers and I appreciate everybody, but being supported by your subscribers is called being a full-time YouTuber. And I made it clear that sounds like a cool job, but I really don't have any ambitions for that. So anyway, so looking at the winter, I mean, that's an interesting thing because we live in a big planet and the weather is different. And of course, we only have winter half the planet at the same time. So I am going to look at what and I mean, there were people who asked if they could send me a donation, so I put my PayPal up, like, if you'd like to, here it is, but not. I have thought about Patreon, and the reason why I haven't done it yet is because I already feel guilty that I'm not offering my members enough. And because I'm not a full-time YouTuber, right? So right now I have basically 2 membership options, and my $15 membership, I only have 2 people who do that. They're actually my mods, or 3 people. So there's one viewer, haven't talked to her in a bit. Certainly I'm grateful for that. I have the mod level of membership, which is only $1. Not that I want to force my mods to be members, but if I do a members only stream, they can't come in if they're not mods. So yeah, as soon as I'm on my feed, I'm going to be sending them, Google Play gift cards. So if I had Patreon, I need to be able to offer something of value for my patrons, right? And I don't know if I have enough creativity for content for that, because if I'm only coming out with at this point, 1 video a month, but if I was to do like a video a week or a video a week and a live stream a week, how do I also make content for my patrons and my members that makes it worthwhile? I want to give value to my patrons and my members because I appreciate you. So I mean, I could do like early releases. I like doing polls, and I know that there are some creators who do like polls just for their members and just for their Patreon. But I don't know if there would be enough for me to get actual results with how tiny my channel is. Like if I've got 4 options and I've got 3 people voting, then I don't know if that makes sense. I'll figure something out. Eventually there will be a Patreon. Eventually, hopefully. All right. So doing this winter. So I am going to do it for my region, which is the Great Lakes Basin. So I'm in southwestern Ontario, and anything kind of, I guess down to like, the Great Lakes Basin. So I don't have to draw you a map. So so I'll look at what the weather will be like. Obviously what the weather is going to be like in the Great Lakes Basin is not going to be what the weather is like in California or Australia, or I have viewers all over the world, and even 2 of my mods are in Europe. So all right, let's see what that looks like. So I'm going to do situation, body, mind, and spirit. Some cups. Okay, so I have the Six of Cups, the Five of Swords reversed, the Seven of Swords reversed, and the Empress reversed. Now, we've had a few years of really mild winters, and we do tend to have that pendulum between the El Nino and the La Nina. Okay, well, lovely. I do have a rule on my channel. You know what? And there are other verses in the Bible that completely support divination. There is a rule on this channel that don't be a dick. So last warning, if you would like to be here, I welcome people of all different beliefs. However, your religion is not more valid than mine simply because it is more popular. So final warning, don't be a dick. Okay. What was I? Looking at the Empress card here. So the Empress card reminds me of a goddess named Kaliak. And Kaliak is a goddess of winter. Now, there are two sides of the Kaliak. There is Kaliak, who is, she's a Celtic goddess who is kind and loving and the grandmotherly type. And she has a wheel of cheese under one loaf and a loaf of bread under the other loaf. Loaf arm. I have teachers. Okay. Yeah, wheel of bread, wheel of cheese, loaf of bread, and she's kind and loving. And then there's the flip side of the Kaliak, Kaliak, who is who's more severe, who is the crone of winter. So I think that we are looking here at having a harsher winter. I mean, we do have this pendulum between the El Nino and the La Nina, and we have had El Nino for the past few winters. So I think okay, well, I'm actually not constipated. I actually have loose bowel movements and I have diarrhea every morning. So thank you for your medical interpretation. I was a personal support worker. Americans call them CNAs or RNAs for almost 20 years. And yeah, I know a lot about poop because I washed a lot of bums for 20 years. Because I'm a caring and compassionate person and I don't push my beliefs on other people. So all right. And if that's something that you are experiencing Tarot Destroyer, I do recommend that you talk to your doctor. Maybe eat more fiber, have a salad. Hopefully that'll help. So yeah, I think that we are looking at that pendulum swinging of having a La Nina, a more severe winter, and I think this is going to be with the Six of Cups and the Six of Cups being something that represents childhood and children. I think this is going to be a winter like the ones we remembered growing up. So now I'm a little bit older than some of my members, but yeah, I remember in the 80s there being a lot more snow, being able to do things in the snow like winter activities, and that wasn't so much of a like it wasn't so much rain. So yeah, we're gonna have real winter like it was when we were kids. You're right. Psyllium husk and water is fantastic for constipation. However, if you have it without the water, it just ends up like turning into cement. So yeah, also my former landlord comes in here as a troll and just acts like an asshole. So whatever. They've come in as sock accounts a few times. So yeah, I'd like to think I'm doing something right. Okay. So it's oh my, like just look at the imagery of the Seven of Swords on this deck. Like it looks pretty wintry. And got Gawain's Penance. So yeah, I think that we're also looking at a longer winter, like oh no, did I say a naughty word? Yeah, but it's funny with all of the crimes that he keeps committing, like, and all the money that I have to keep spending because he caused me to be homeless. That yeah, the amount that he owes me just keeps building and just keeps building. So yeah, I think that yeah, it's probably going to be close to 50 grand that he's going to owe me. But yes, reversed swords, I would absolutely see as being cold air. In fact, the swords themselves are, it's the winter suit. Yeah, I think we're looking at a long, harsh winter. So we will revisit this again. I am not going to delete this stream. If I'm wrong and it ends up being another mild winter, then yeah, we'll come back and we will revisit this. And Paula, yeah, YouTube will do a review of my video and find if my language is too foul. Fake nurse. No, I'm not a nurse. I'm okay. Yeah, you're being a dick. Goodbye. Megan. No, well, I can block. There we go. Fake nurse. When did I say I was a nurse? Go back in my stream. When did I ever say that I was a nurse? I am a personal support worker. Do you want to see my transcript? Where is it? Yeah, it's in the closet there. So, yeah, I am a PSW. I no longer work in the field because my back got hurt. That's a thing that happens. Once in Suzanne is salty once in her stream. They were bad mouthing me because I caught Suzanne gossiping about me and being two-faced, and when I called her on it, she did a trash stream about me, and somebody said that I kept saying I was a psychologist. Like, when did I say that? I'm really clear that no, I only have a bachelor. I wish I had a PhD, but I don't. And yeah. Anyway, some people are idiots. So 5,000 people are going to report that I have, that I'm a PSW and not a nurse. Okay. Okay. I'm not a nurse. Here we go. I never said I was. There are certain things. Now I am an enhanced personal support worker, so there are some things that I'm trained to do that most PSWs can't do, but it has to be done under the direction of a delegating RN. Oh gosh. Please go away. Megan, since you are resident mod, yeah, if you can just block any trolls that come in. It's funny, we had for like 2 years we didn't have trolls. Stream was just lovely, and yeah, fairly certain that this is John, and that's okay, because if I'm being harassed, then yeah, we just subpoena the IP, and then more charges get added for harassment, and then we can just add it to the bill. So. No worries, Farter. The reading, the meaning of the reading was basically just, yeah, it's going to be, we're going to pendulum back to La Nina, and it's going to be a harsher winter like how we experienced as kids, colder. Okay, so we will come back to this. I don't know if I'll do it in a live stream or if I'll do it in a regular regular video, but if we need to, yeah, I'll come back to this in like February and we'll see how accurate I was with this. So I haven't looked at the long-term forecast. It's still August. Ace of Swords is cutting off, no communication. Yeah, Queen of Swords. Oh, Queen of Swords reversed is my least favorite card. I don't like her. She's gonna boil my rabbit. Yeah, she's a stalker lady. I always see the Ace of Swords reversed as like the double-edged sword. Oh, Emma, you're right. And Marissa, I think, asked that as well, if I would do one on Oak Island. And that actually sounds awesome and right up my alley. So yeah, I'll do one on Oak Island. That sounds like a lot of fun. And see if there's actually treasure there. I know there's like a six season series on it, but I haven't watched any of it. So yeah, we'll do a reading of if there is actually treasure on Oak Island. I like that. Okay, so I'm going to look at Trump and see what is going on with him. Now, again, we all have our own biases. It is a fun mystery. No, I wouldn't say that all swords are would be cold air, but I think that the meaning of cards changes within context. So if I'm specifically doing a reading about weather and I get a lot of swords, that to me says windy and cold. If I was to get a lot of wands, that would be hot and dry. If I got a lot of cups, that's wet and rainy. And if I got a lot of pence, I guess that's temperate and moderate and nice. So tarot really is a language, and each card changes its meaning depending on the question, depending on the surrounding cards, depending on personal interpretations. So it's one of the reasons why I love tarot. Like, you can never learn everything about it. There's always deeper and broader to go. And sometimes a card will pop up and I've never read it that way in 20 years. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, that totally means like that. And yeah, it kind of fits. Or sometimes a visual aspect will jump out of the cards. Like, I have one deck that has, my Gilded deck has all these little animals in it. So I pull one of the cards, and like maybe, the little bunny in one of the cards will just pop out at me. Okay, well, what does bunny mean? Well, what's my question? So if I'm asking about fertility, and I'm asking if somebody is going to become a parent, then and I got this card and what's popping out at me is this bunny, then yeah, I would say yes, fertility and luck. Yeah, and that's why I never do a card of the day, because we need context. So it's like if I pulled a word out of a dictionary and that was your word of the day, it doesn't mean anything if it's not in a sentence. So, I mean, your word could be tree. And, well, is that a tree falling on your house, or is that a tree that you've planted giving fruit? No worries, Father. All right, so we're going to look at Trump, what he's up to. Again, we all have our own biases. I will try to be as non-biased as possible. I tend to lean left, but I know I have viewers of all different orientations politically. So we will examine this in a few months, and we'll see what happens. Now, I had done a reading before about whether or not he would run in 2024. And the answer was no, that neither Biden nor Trump would run again. I think that Biden won't run because his age and his health, and I think that Trump won't run because he's unavailable. So, yeah, if he's unavailable, then that could be for a lot of reasons. My thinking was that he was unavailable because he was incarcerated, or at least, in the process of. But yeah, we shall see. Okay. I'm doing a 4-card spread. Okay. I have the 6 of Spears. 6 of Spears upright. Actually, they're all upright. The King of Cups, the Page of Cups, and the Knight of Swords. All right, so we have 3 court cards here. We've got, and no queens. So we've got the 3 male cards, although the Page of Cups is often seen as a feminine card. But 3 cups. A king, a page, and a sword. I almost think that these are the kids. He has 5 children, but I think that we're looking at the kids being involved. Now, the King of Cups, I don't think is one of his sons. I think that might be Jared. And all this is because I don't see cups as being something that's representative of Trump. I mean, even Trump supporters would say that, cups aren't really his thing. I mean, cups are about compassion and gentleness and caring, empathy, spirituality, and that's kind of not him. And that's our primary suit here. 6 of Spears is about being celebrated. So I think he is going to rile up his base once again. And if he riles up his base, then that's going to lead to some violence. So the Knight of Swords, I think, is Eric. And the Page of Cups, I see as Ivanka. Yeah, he did. Good point, Covington. So what I think that Jared was the leak, because they're saying that somebody from, hey, Black Swan, we're doing a reading on Trump right now. Yeah, we're gonna stay controversial, I guess. Okay, so yeah, I think that Jared was the one who was the leak. Jared reported, and if you think about it, through everything that happens, Jared has been doing everything he can to distance himself from Trump shenanigans. January 6th, where was Jared Kushner? He was in the Middle East in a meeting, so he couldn't have had anything to do with that. Jared and Ivanka are both the cups. So I think that they've taken a lot of hits from their social circle of being associated with some of the shenanigans, because their social circle is, Democratic upper class New York, and they've lost a lot of friends. So I think that they're going to try to get involved in politics and take things a little bit more. I want to say kosher looking, but Jared is Jewish, and Ivanka converted to Judaism, so I guess yes, kosher looking, a little classier. So I think that that they're going to get involved in politics, and try to one up. We got the 6 of Spears here, which is about celebrating. So they're going to try to one up Donald by being better than Donald, being slicker and better dressed and more articulate. And then we got the sword here, and I think that's Eric trying to run as well. So that's what I see happening, and I think that that's going to be a really hard thing for Donald, because he has always had this really unhealthy and meshed relationship with Ivanka, and Ivanka is going to have to choose between her dad and her husband. And I think she's going to throw her dad under the bus because her dad wouldn't hesitate to throw her under the bus. So yeah, I think that the Kushners are going to throw the dad under the bus. I think that Eric is still going to have a lot of the base of his dad and have a lot of like that, trying to appeal to that the forgotten voters or whatever they're called. Yes, she can mouth the right progressive words, and especially being a woman, she talked a lot about International Women's Day, things like that. So yeah, that's what I think is happening is that Kushners are going to throw Donald under the bus, that Eric is going to run as well. I think with the Six of Spears here, we are looking at some more violence, at another perhaps insurrection attempt, and yeah, being kind of gory as they try to defend Donald. That I don't like the idea of violence. I mean, violence can happen anywhere, but it's going to intensify. So the polarization is going to intensify, which makes me sad. I want my American friends to be safe and be at peace. And in fact, there's a possibility that I may end up moving to the US in the next few weeks. So I will do a video update on that. Everything is safe. Everything is fine. I needed to enforce some boundaries quite strongly. And yeah, that's a different story. We'll get into that in another video. Okay. All right. That is the political situation in the US. Yeah, true. And I think every society has something that they would riot on no matter what. And for the US, like if they tried to outlaw guns, there would be riots. In Canada, if you try to take away our healthcare, we will riot. But what the governments here have done is they've just slowly eroded it. Like one thing at a time isn't covered anymore, until eventually there'll be nothing left. That's the fear. It is. And where I would be living would be essentially like the suburbs of DC. So that's a little scary. And actually, maybe that's a reason I should not go there, because that could put me at risk. I've always said I don't want to go to the US because I don't want to get shot, but I know that's a little unrealistic. All right, we've got about 10 minutes left of the stream. Are there any other questions? I will do readings, personal readings by donation or free-form members. Hi, Yvette. Part of the reason going there is I wouldn't have to pay for anything. So, yeah, it's a beautiful neighborhood. It's one of the wealthiest neighborhoods in the country that I'd be staying in. But yeah, I would have my expenses covered. But it also means being in a foreign country, and I'm kind of like, at least I'm close to the embassy if I need to get back to Canada. But no, everything will be fine. I'll have so I post on Twitter a few times a day usually. Sometimes I'll take a weekend or a day and not be on social media, leave my phone behind and go out in the woods somewhere. But if I went a week without posting, something's up. If I give you, thank you so much, Yvette, but if I give you the code word Poughkeepsie, let's say, which is the code word they use on Supernatural, then I'm in trouble, okay? So if I tweet the word Poughkeepsie, I'm in trouble. Otherwise, I'm fine. I have been wanting to do a few collabs with YouTubers, and I've got some imposter syndrome because my channel is so small. Yeah, I guess you're right, Megan. I think that the news blows things out of proportion, right? Okay, thanks, Emma. But yeah, I've got some imposter syndrome about contacting some of these larger channels that I want to talk to because I think that they have some really interesting things to say. For instance, one of the channels who I want to contact is Esoterica. I love that channel. It's some quite highbrow stuff with occultism and Judaism, Jewish lore. Yeah, I think it'll be a great adventure. It's Rabbi Justin Sledge is the creator who runs that channel. And okay, thanks, Yvette. Yes, Dat Darling. Oh, she's awesome. I replied to a tweet of hers today. But yeah, people talk about how, and we just had Tarot Destroyer on giving these Old Testament books about how tarot is naughty. And there is a beautiful and long tradition of Judaic astrology. So I want Justin to come on and talk about Old Testament magic and Old Testament divination. I also really enjoy Witch of Wonderlust. I think her name's Olivia, and Chaotic Witch Ant. So those are two who I'd love to talk to. Yeah. So we don't have Cash App in Canada. I don't know why, but yeah, we can work something out. And yeah, I'd love to. I'd love to come on your channel at some point. That'd be a lot of fun. Yeah. So Dr. Brennan's going to come back. I say I have a friend. We haven't really talked. We're just Facebook friends. Who is a demonologist. So she studies the Goetia and where they come from. I want to do the seance with Betty White, with Andrea. What else am I going to have? Sarah Mastros has told me that she wants to come back because she has a new book coming out. I want to have Zach Liu come on and talk about Qigong and Taoism. There's so many I want to do. Savvy writes books. I know that she's atheist or agnostic. I want to have her come on and talk about cancel culture, specifically about the concept of redemption with tarot culture, or with cancel culture, redemption and cancel culture. And also, like, what if you get value from some other things that someone has said who's otherwise a terrible human? Because I think that there can be value in everything. And like, do you throw out everything just because someone terrible said something that really impacted your life? I think like Jordan Peterson, and he's chosen pronouns as the hill he wants to die on. And if you know me, like I try my best to be an ally. In fact, the friend I'm staying with right now is trans. But Jordan Peterson also says, like, if you don't know where to start by cleaning your room. And then when you've got that under control, then you can branch out and do other things. So it's like, that was something that really powerful impacted me. And when it comes to like redemption, I think about Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. Now, I mean, you can have your own opinions on that. But he, in college, did brownface. He was Aladdin for Halloween and painted his face. And I think that now, as a mid-40s man, he knows that that's not acceptable and that's not okay. And I think that he would never do something like that now. So are we going to? And I think if you confronted him on it, he would say, "Yeah, that was wrong. I regret doing that." Whereas there was a senator who wore blackface and just keeps saying, "Oh no, it wasn't me," whereas it clearly was. So yeah, so that's something that I want to look at. Like, can we forgive someone if it seems like they've changed. And like I've often thought of like that YouTuber who, she who will not be named on this channel again, if she was to change her ways, if she had some sort of an epiphany, would she be forgiven? Because no worries, Father. I'll see you later. Take care. There are people who nitpick everything and, so that YouTuber picked her nose today, or that YouTuber, had parsley in her teeth. And those are things that I think we're just being petty, and we're looking for excuses. And, whether somebody makes a face, or somebody rolls their eyes, or, just does something funny on camera that's weird, are we going to continue to pick on that if their behavior changes and they're no longer problematic? I think like J.K. Rowling she broke my heart. Harry Potter was such a huge part of things that I loved. And I love that for the most part, there was a lot of representation in Harry Potter. But then, J.K. Rowling's TERF, as in, TERF stands for Trans Exclusionary Radical Feminist. So she doesn't believe that trans women belong in women's only spaces because of safety, which is ridiculous. So do I throw out everything that J.K. Rowling ever did because she's a dick? And I think of like everyone else who contributed to the Harry Potter franchise. Emma Watson certainly does not deserve to be canceled. Rupert Grint, Daniel Radcliffe, these people don't deserve to be canceled. Roman Polanski, that's an example. What he did was not forgivable, ever, ever, ever. And Roman Polanski canceled, but yet is still thought of as one of the greatest directors of all time. So, yeah, I don't think that Roman Polanski could ever redeem himself. So if you're not clear who Roman Polanski is, he is a famous Hollywood director. His wife was actually murdered by Charles Manson, but he did some terrible things to underage girls, and is living in Europe, hiding from the American government. And the American government has not pushed hard to have him answer for his crimes. But yet he's still considered this brilliant director. Or Woody Allen. Woody Allen hasn't been convicted. I believe survivors. So, yeah. These are questions that I have that I want to talk to Savvy about, because I know that she has done a lot of research and a lot of talking about cancel culture. You knew him? Oh, wow. Yeah, it's hard to reconcile, and when people do those types of things, we always want to think, well, that person was so kind, they'd never do that. And I've been watching a lot of serial killer documentaries, and like so many of them are. Oh, really? Okay, I didn't know that it had been up, but there's so many serial killers who are just like these mild-mannered guys, and there are women as well, who no one would ever think that this person was capable of such awfulness. Yeah. So yeah, what do we do if someone is a human and has good sides and bad sides, and how much of that can we take? And are there things that are, and I understand that too, and I actually respect and support that. There are friends who I have who there is very little that would ever make me turn on them. Yeah, I think that we want to see things in our culture as always being so black and white and so different, and we don't really pay attention to gray and pay attention to nuance. And I would love to see more of that. And you're right, Chubbington, it is subjective. And I mean, it also depends on like how the person's crime is still impacting the world and impacting the victims. Like Justin Trudeau wearing brown face in the 90s was faux pas and was a bad move, but it was offensive, but nobody died. He's learned his lesson. He's not going to do that again. So like, can we let that go? Sure. But Mario Lopez was accused in his Saved by the Bell days of doing some not nice things to some of his fans and female fans. And I mean, we've kind of let him get away with that. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know is the answer. But yeah, it's a conversation that I want to have with Savvy. Okay. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for sharing everything. Thank you to Megan, my mod. Yay! Megan is an awesome mod. Thank you to everyone who joined us. I am taken off for the night. May you pray with a good fire and have a fantastic evening. Bye, pumpkins.